Welcome to Functional Horsemanship. This is for Horse Genie, who wrote me asking about my opinion on saddle position. She described herself as just getting into Western riding, so I assume she probably has an English background. And again, her question was on what's the best saddle position for a Western saddle. And you really can't answer that in any type of written format. I got to kind of show you, but there's some things you got to understand before we talk about saddle position, and that's the type of horse that saddle is going on. You know, this is the withers of a horse here, and you see he's kind of mutton withered, meaning he has low withers. It's kind of accentuated because he has a sway back. This old horse here is about 27 or 28 years old, and I got him about 12 years ago, and he came with these markings right here, and these white markings on an otherwise brown horse or other colored horse indicates bad saddle fit. These are where the bars of the saddle go, and they probably had a poor fit in saddle, or it was missing much of its fleece, or any number of issues. The pad could have been a little bit of a factor in there, but the white hair like this, when the hair dies off and turns white, that's an example of poor saddle fit. Anyway, the withers right here and the scapula of the horse, if you put your hand up here and you feel the bone, I feel the scapula of the horse right in here. There's not a whole lot of meat on it, especially on an older horse like this. This is the scapula. You don't want the saddle, the bars of the saddle, to be sitting over that. That's gonna cause him unnecessary discomfort and cause him some problems with his movement. First thing you may want to do is get the saddle you're riding and then just place it on his back. And that saddle's going to kind of normally set in what sometimes people call the pocket or the sweet spot. And you want to check for the bars of the saddle making contact on the horse's sides. You want to check up here with the withers and the gullet, and you want some space between the top of the withers here and the gullet. If you have like only about a finger worth of space, then your saddle is probably going to be a poor fit for that horse. If you have a whole bunch of space, the saddle sits way up like this, then you're going to have a rocking saddle that's going to become unbalanced. Of course, you can do a little bit of fixing on that with a pad, but you see a lot of over padding and even under padding, and padding's not the solution. Proper fit in the saddle is. Most of us can't afford to have a saddle built for every horse we have, so we got to make do. But you got to understand that what to look for from poor saddle fit, so you don't impact on your horse's rideability. But anyway, I got the saddle up here. I'm checking the bars to make sure it's on the horse. It has to be in back of the scapula. You don't want the bars of that saddle over the scapula. Sometimes the saddle will fit a little higher up here, and if the edge of the saddle skirt is over the scapula, I think that's okay, unless it's causing the horse some discomfort. What you want to be concerned about is the bars of that saddle. Horse Genie, I think what you're referring to as far as position of the saddle is in relationship to the D-ring and the front cinch. Where does that go? Like on an English saddle, sometimes they're center rigged, and endurance saddles, some of the Australian saddles have different ways to rig them. On a Western saddle, normally the cinch is up underneath the elbow of the horse. So it fits like this. I'll pull it over so you can see better. So you can see how that fits up snug up against the elbow. If you're using another type of cinch, like a neoprene cinch or something that's not soft, I always use these fleece front cinches, but if you pull it up too far forward, it can rub on the horse here. So make sure it goes right behind the elbow. If you had the D-ring of your saddle moved a little bit far back, so your cinch comes in like that, that may cause a little bit of discomfort to them, or more so instability with the saddle. If you're using a rear cinch, make sure you have a connector. Last thing you want is to hook up this rear cinch and have it come loose where it'll move back and get up underneath their groin here like this. You know, You can otherwise take a pleasant horse and get him to bucking. Of course, you'd never do that, would you, Roy? Huh? Okay, I hope that helps you as far as determining if your saddle is going to be suitable for your horse. Again, make sure you check the gullet for clearance here. You need some, but not too much. Maybe 3 fingers is about right once you put your saddle pad on. It's helpful to put your saddle on without a pad and check the fit of the bars to the horse's sides. When you're done riding and you take the saddle off, you can see sweat marks where the saddle bears against the horse's body. Of course, you want the backbone dry up here, and you want all the sweat where the bars of the saddle meet the horse's side, where he has some meat and some muscle there to absorb that impact. And again, the position of the saddle, on the Western saddle with that front cinch, it should come down and go right underneath his belly here, up in the elbow, where it's going to keep that saddle in position. I hope that helps, Horse Genie. In regards to your other question about your horse who's feet aggressive and is pretty aggressive towards other horses or other people that come around it, I'll have to address that in another post. Have a good day. Functional Horsemanship.